Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed. Welcome to the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship, and welcome to Zandvoort, Circuit Park Zandvoort to be exact. We're here for rounds 5 and 6 of the championship, and it's going to be a very, very difficult night for a lot of these drivers. Front-wheel drive cars around here is a real challenge. Any sort of car around here is a real challenge, to be honest. But it's great to have you with us here for the third race meeting in the series. This is the first overseas visit this season. We had pre-season testing at Alton Park. First rounds of the championship were at Silverstone, and then we moved over to Brands Hatch. Now we've crossed the North Sea and we're into the Netherlands, and what a great place it is to be for rounds 5 and 6. Now, to just give you a quick outline of the championship, this is how it's looking with the drivers at the moment. Maciej Sakovic is the king of the hill as things stand with 2 wins to his name. Stephen King is only 6 points back, and to be honest, it's a really impressive feat so far. We've only had 2 race winners all season. That's Maciej Sakovic and Ben Creanor, who have won 2 races each. Every single time we've had a race winner, they've won back-to-back races on the night. Stephen King has no wins to his name, but is still up there in second. Ben Bennyworth is best of the rest, just ahead of Carl Jacquelet. Jack Johns and Jason Rowe are tied on points ahead of Adam Wright, Scott Malcolm and Michael Blake, who rounds out the top 10. Alex Sedgwick had a good debut last time out at Brands Hatch, but unfortunately he's not here this evening. And over in the Teams Championship, it's Team Mood Springs, which is Stephen King and Jack Johns, that lead the way with quite a comfortable margin over Abruzzi Raceware and then Blade Speed Esports. But we've got racing going on at the moment. We have drivers out in practice. Craig Schill in the cross-development car, currently coming round to the latter stages of the lap, but it's Morgan Butler who's fastest at the moment, doing an absolutely fine job so far. Now, I have turned the motion blur down slightly. I know that the bit rate on my streams hasn't been the best in the past, so I've turned motion blur down slightly, and hopefully things look a little bit crisper. And I hope that we have a wonderful evening. Mark Fletcher in the chat, great to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you and the fam are all good. But let's see if we can ride on board with Morgan Butler, shall we? For what's a very difficult lap round here. He's using a lot of lock, balancing the throttle on the exit of the final corner. Look at the speeds that they do down this straight. 200 kilometers an hour before the start-finish line, then hard on the brakes into Tarzan, the very first corner. Looks like Morgan's gone a little bit hot there. Uses all of the lock in the world. And he's actually decided to abandon that lap, unfortunately. Should look a bit crisper, you say, says Matthew Crisp. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Michael Blake's running second at the moment for Simmortal, doing a brilliant job. Michael had some great pace at Brands Hatch, and it seems that he's got similar pace here as well in the Netherlands. Now, you'll notice at the moment everything's very golden, everything's very shiny and lovely. Some of the lighting looks a bit strange on some of the cars where it's very glossy, but we're in a late afternoon setting, so I think by the end of the feature race we could have cars running with the headlights on, which will be very, very intriguing. Well, not long left of practice right now before they get into qualifying. We have 18 cars out there this evening. John Roberts is out there. Unfortunately, as of today, his teammate Ben Hoffman will be leaving the championship, I'm afraid. So John will be scheduled to receive a replacement teammate for the rest of the season. Daniele Giudici is the latest driver to sign into the session. Him and his teammate Luke Austin, who said last time that he really needs to get more practice in before these, and then he had PC issues earlier on and only got it set up about 10 minutes before the practice session went live. So he's doing all right at the moment in 12th place. Drivers get points all the way down to 16th position in this championship. So with 18 drivers in the field, as long as you finish, you should be all right for points. Ben Creanor is currently 3rd in practice. And also, by the way, having 18 cars in the field means that the majority of the field will be reversed when it comes to the reverse grid for the first race. So that's going to be intriguing. I believe it's the top 12 that get reversed, or the top 10. Yes, it is 12. We potentially were going to change the rule, but I think it's going to be different points for qualifying is what we decided it was going to be. So we had a vote to decide whether we expand the point scoring system for qualifying. So at the moment, or in previous rounds, it's been 3 points for pole, 2 points for second, and then 1 for third in terms of the times. The top 12 then get reversed, which gives people still an incentive to go for the pole position time and get as quick a time as they can. What we've done now is expand that to 5 points for pole. 4, 3, 2, 1. So the top 5 in qualifying get points. And after this evening, the points will be updated. And we've actually backdated that as well. So anyone that put it on pole position previously, and obviously in the top 5 in qualifying, gets those points. Here's Rob Lundgren in the Mirage Sport car, one of the prettiest looking cars on the grid. Don't forget to hit that like button as well, everybody, and do, of course, subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media if you haven't already. It's been great being on YouTube the last few days, actually. The amount of people that have sent me that clip of that truck crashing into the Hungaroring is endless. I had a wonderful first weekend with the FIA European Truck Racing Championship as their English commentator, and we witnessed a humongous incident for Stefan Faas at turn 2 where he had a brake failure and destroyed the barrier and the wall and everything else. But he was perfectly fine, as the safety standards in that championship are incredibly high, as they would have to be. The trucks are 5 tons, 1,200 horsepower, 5,000 newton meters of torque. You need some decent safety, to say the least. But everybody's been really supportive of me doing that, and I'm very, very grateful for all of it. And don't forget as well, my latest vlog will come out tomorrow at 12 PM. It was scheduled for today, but I set it to be the wrong day. It's about my trip to Italy with Clio Cup Europe, and it covers the entire trip there and back. It's 50 minutes long, unfortunately, but I sincerely hope that you have it bookmarked and ready for tomorrow, and you do enjoy it if you get a chance. Now we're looking at Maciej Sakovic here, championship leader at the moment, currently 7th in practice, and the Blade Speed Esports car looking very pretty indeed in these low light conditions. Now here's Kieran Dempsey, the man that was fastest by a long shot in pre-season testing, won the pre-season testing race at Alton Park, and since then has had a bit of a torrid season. In terms of the championship, he's currently down in 16th place on 15 points. 56 points off championship leader Maciej Sakovic. It's an incredible, incredible difference already. So Kieran's hoping to have a bit more luck round here. He's got pace here at the moment. 4th place, only 1/4 of a second off the top spot. Craig Schell is going well in the cross development machine. He's 9th. Scott Malcolm down in 14th at the moment, which isn't where we'd expect to see Scott. He's been a lot higher up the order previously. He had a nightmare actually on the last lap at Brands Hatch where he ran out of fuel just at the end of the feature race as Butler goes even faster. Wow, Morgan's piling in the times now. That's brilliant from Morgan. Fair play, a 1:45.8. So in terms of tonight's races, by the way, we'll have an 8-lap sprint race and then a 16-lap feature race. It's one of the shortest sprint races on the calendar, or at least the fewest laps. Spa GP has the least with 5. Obviously the longest track on the calendar, as Morgan decides to put it in the gravel. There's Michael Blake in the Simultal machine. Now Michael should have a teammate, Sean Gardner, who has taken over for Kieran O'Malley for the rest of the season. But unfortunately Sean's been having internet issues of his own tonight. I'm not sure whether he can make it. A number of them are either watching Germany versus France, of course, which is on in the Euros as well. But we have the smallest grid of the season, unfortunately. Before now, the smallest grid that we had was 25. We had 26 people for Silverstone and 25 for Brands Hatch. But now we're 7 cars down on that. It's a 30-car field. And we've only just got over half, I'm afraid. The 2 EMKA cars are not here tonight. Chris Harbour has had to pull out of the championship due to an injury, and I wish him all the best. I was having a little chat with him yesterday, and really, really do hope he recovers quickly. John Bailiff isn't with us tonight either due to an illness, I'm afraid. Again, hope he recovers very quickly indeed. I don't think Adam Wright can make this round either because of he's going to be working away. So neither of the EMKA cars with us tonight, I'm afraid. And they've been very exciting to watch since the very start of the season as well. So fingers crossed we get them back soon. So practice is over. The cars will disappear any moment now. And then we'll get on with the serious business that is qualifying here in the European Touring Car Championship. So who's going to be first out? The first one to appear in the pit lane is Michael Blake. First one to leave the pit lane is Michael Blake. Michael's going to have that clear road in front of him, so he needs to just get on with it now and absolutely send it. The wonderful nose cam view here of Zandvoort. You can see the glow, the golden glow of the rubber on the circuit. A bit of shadow shenanigans going on there, but iRacing things. Plenty of curb on the right hand side, really rumbling the camera. But look at the speed that they carry through here. You know, this is built to be a GT car, this Kia Optima, and it's certainly got the speeds of one. It's not quite got the touring car-esque handling capability of the TCR car, but it's so quick over a lap. And it's crazy because it's 375-ish brake horsepower at the front wheels. And somehow it just feels so much quicker than that when you put your foot down. It's an absolute missile. Who else have we got out that we didn't have out in practice? Ben Creanor's out on track. We've got Donnie Henriksen out there as well. Donnie had a very tough time at Brands, unfortunately, after a great first meeting at Silverstone. Michael Ellett, just ahead of him there on track. Morgan Butler's just taken to the circuit as well. Stephen King and Jack Johns looking for a bit of clear air, I think. They're not even in the session yet. They've not actually taken to the track, which is interesting. So they're clearly waiting for everyone else to get their times in. Here's Ben Bennyworth in the Abruzzi car, or he should be in an Abruzzi car. What's happened there, Ben? Well, that's getting reloaded. I'd love to say I've got an answer for that, but no. What on earth has changed Ben's paint? That's very odd. Very, very odd indeed. Right then, while I sort that out, I don't really have a backup for that. Just let me sort it out. Sorry about that there. All the cars will be white for just a moment then while the liveries reload. I think maybe Trading Paints has kicked his livery out or something. Now, here's the two Team Mood Springs cars. Jack Johns and Stephen King trying to get a bit of clear air together so they can help slipstream one another and get fast times. This is the perfect sort of teamwork we wanted. The sun is getting very low here as well at Zandvoort. Jack staying out of people's way. We've got Carl Jacquelet as well, by the way. The other 5-a-day racing car, teaming up with Kieran Dempsey this season, cars 40 and 42. It's all about patience on this middle part of the lap. Here's Tim Cox in, oh, way up. Big sideways in the metallic Dragonfly competition car. Unfortunately, his teammate Austin Greatorex unable to make another round here. So I think Tim may be ordering a new teammate soon. And he may be ordering a new Apex for that corner as well. Here's John Roberts showing him how to do it. Through the right he goes. Michael Blake crosses the line then. The first car across there with a 1:46.056. Kieran Dempsey 0.8 of a second off him. So Michael sets the pace early. Ben Bennyworth with a 1:47.3. His livery is now working. That's good news. Craig Schill goes a little bit quicker than him as well. Right behind him there in the cross-development car. Rob Lundgren, a few seconds off the pace there. quite up to the speed of his teammates. Sakovic, second fastest, within 2 tenths of a second of Michael Blake. Ben Creanor goes third. Now we've seen what Ben Creanor's starts are like. Michael Ellett has gone 7th. And don't forget, as mentioned not too long ago, the top 5 on the grid get championship points now. 5 points for pole, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. Trust me, I made that sound a lot easier to say than it is. Seems like anything black and glossy on the cars. It's very overly contrasted right now with the lighting here. Either way, here's the 2 Pramac cars then. Luke Austin just coming around the final corner. His teammate Daniele Giudici just behind him. Giudici goes 6th fastest. This is Luke's first lap now, first hot lap anyway. Morgan Butler goes to the top, 46.0. Great stuff from Morgan. Lovely time indeed, only 16 thousandths of a second ahead of Michael Blake. Morgan loves the number 16, thanks to being one of the world's biggest Charles Leclerc fans. And car 16 goes 16 thousandths ahead. Sakovic remains third, Creanor is in the pits, Dempsey stays 4th. We've got no times yet from 8 cars. Jack Johns and Stephen King cross the line. They go 4th and 6th respectively. Schill improves to 7th. I'm waiting to see what Carl Jacquelet can do. Here he comes across the line. Henriksen goes 9th. Where does Jacquelet go? 11th at the moment. 1.2 seconds off. He's got Sakovic right behind him. No improvement there from Majek on that lap though. Luke Austin should be coming around to finish his lap in just a moment. Oh, I hope he doesn't get a off track for that. Now into this chicane that becomes a hairpin. Not the easiest bit of the track to get right, especially with the sun glinting through like that as well. Tim Cox goes 13th. And the number 7 machine, John Roberts, goes 16th at the moment, gets a banker lap in. He's really attacking these final few corners as Luke Austin. Takes a bit of a later turn in. Hard on the power. You can feel the understeer, but he gets it round, smooths it out. Across the line he will go. He's got Giudici behind him as well, right behind him, in 12th. 10th and 12th they go, so Austin inherits Giudici's place. And we've got a number of our top runners on outlaps. Michael Blake, Jack Johns, Ben Creanor. Importantly for Darrington Francis. Now if he is where he is at the moment, he's going to get a point for his troubles, and he's going to be ahead of those guys that have been quicker than him in qualifying. But we've seen before that if you do get reversed onto pole position, you can quite easily win the race if you stay out of trouble. So track position has proved to be one of the key things in this championship. We have Victor Oliveira joining the session as well to make it 19 drivers. That's Maciej Sakovic's teammate, the Brazilian driver. So here goes Ben onto a lap then. Let's see what he can do. Most of the top 5 then on outlaps, although Michael Blake back into the pits. Ben trying to be as smooth as possible. You can see tyre tracks there. Somebody's clearly gone off on the left-hand side. I think that might have been Michael Blake, you know. I think he's tried to go for a hot lap, messed up the first corner, and then decided to jump to the pits, come back out. Ben had to be a little bit more hesitant on the throttle than he would have liked through there. Through the right, keeping the power down. Through the left, a little bit of a lift. Chucks it to the right. Uses all of the road, clips the grass, bit of a slide. He knows that he can keep the momentum with that. Oh, I'm not sure if that would have actually helped him though. He's sticking with it. A very tricky double right. We're going to see a lot of argy-bargy through here tonight. This double right section provides a lot of different approaches, a lot of different racing lines. Long sweeping left-hander now. Again, just managing the car on the power is such an important part of driving this thing. hard onto the brakes. Chucks it right, uses a bit of the curb, chucks it left, use a lot of curb there, you can get away with it. Smoothly onto the power. Still Morgan Butler top, but we've got the top 3 on the grid at the moment, all on outlaps. So they're going to try and put in some last-ditch efforts. Morgan's gone onto his fast lap now. That was an onboard lap with Ben Creanor. Has he just run wide and ruined it out the final corner, or is he going to go fastest? Let's see what he can do. His 3rd fastest for Ben Creanor, 1:46.2, puts him 3rd. So that means 3 championship points if he finishes where he is. Jack Johnson, Stephen King are 5th and 6th now. But it's Morgan Butler, this man, who is currently fastest. Pure Sims driver, showing us exactly why he loves this Kia. As soon as I announced that I might be doing a championship in this car, he told me that he was madly in love with it and he would happily sign up. And here he is with us now. He's on a fast lap here, pushing hard to make sure the car's rotated. You can see him trail braking a lot. That's one of the key things to do. Just helps the rotation. Almost looked like he flashed the lights there, didn't it, on the exit of the hairpin. I just really wish you could paint the windscreen banners on these cars. It would look so much better. Now Morgan takes a bit of a late apex there to that left-hander, but it seems to have worked for him. He's got a good run on the exit. His teammate Ben Bennyworth... Oh, never mind, it hasn't worked. He's actually slowing it down now. Currently, Luke Austin is going to be at the very front of the grid with his teammate in 3rd. So it's looking quite good for the Pramac racing cars at the moment. But they can't risk being pushed down a spot by anybody on the grid. They've got the likes of Michael Ellett and Scott Malcolm in the Ocean Racing Technology cars that are going to be waiting to take advantage. Here we go then. Back onto another lap for Luke Austin. He runs into the back of his teammate into turn 1, Daniele Giudici. Dempsey goes 5th fastest. He goes ahead of the 2 Team Mood Springs cars. That's a championship point for Dempsey if he stays there. Jackalette goes up to 11th. That puts Bennyworth down to 12th. Oh, as Luke runs all over the shop. He's going to miss out on the front row of the grid here if it carries on. Ben Bennyworth will be licking his lips now at this opportunity. Top 13 within a second. It's absolutely awesome. John Roberts is out there to try and put another lap in. Previous Pro-Am champion of the BSRTC in this car is John Roberts, so he has fantastic pedigree in this machine. Just doesn't seem to be able to get on with it at the moment, I'm afraid. I know he has a very hectic schedule though, so he's probably not just able to get the time in the car. And this is a ridiculously difficult track to pick up as well. He's having a bit of a drift as well at the moment, is John. Showing off a little bit for the camera. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Sakovic will be pretty pleased. He's continuing some very strong consistency like we've seen all season from him. He almost got a win at Brands Hatch, but unfortunately I don't think he put enough fuel in, or he got done for speeding in the pits or something. He had some sort of issue relating to his pit stop. An important thing to remember here with these qualifying sessions, as we're using the heat racing format of iRacing, you don't get time to complete your lap. Once the session hits 15 minutes, that's it. You get like 3 seconds and the session is over, and that is that. So drivers that are now on their laps, that's going to be it. So I think Stephen King will be the last one to cross the line, maybe Daniele Giudici. Rob Lundgren, this is going to be his final time in the session. He's not going to be able to get back round in a minute and a half. He improves, but he stays 17th at the moment. Victor Oliveira is out there, just getting used to the car and the track combination. Who's close to finishing a lap then? We've got Donnie Henriksen's just crossed the line. He stays 9th. Sakovic coming around the final corner then. What can he do last minute? Cross the line, 4th at the moment. Oh, he goes 2nd fastest, 4 thousandths of a second faster than Michael Blake. Wow, Very, very close there from Maciej Sakovic. Nearly takes the top spot. Here's Jack Johns round the final corner. I think he's on an outlap though. Unfortunately for him, that's the end of his session now. Who else is next up? Who is next up? Ben Bennyworth is going to be one of the final cars to cross the line. 30 seconds to go. That's great from Maciej Sakovic though. That's 4 championship points that'll be going his way. But Morgan Butler, the teammate of this man, Ben Bennyworth, is going to take all 5. Now, does Ben want to improve here? Because he'll be on pole position. He doesn't improve. Scott Malcolm's just coming out the final corner as well to cross the line. Does he improve? He does not. He stays 16th. Tim Cox is going to cross the line just in time. And then the session is going to be over. Tim Cox does not improve, unfortunately for him. So, Morgan Butler takes pole position, but thanks to the reverse grid, he will start in 12th position. Here is your grid then. Ben Bennyworth from Carl Jacquelet. Daniele Giudici and Donnie Henriksen make up row 2. Then it's Craig Schell alongside Stephen King. His teammate Jack Johns is just behind in 7th. Kieran Dempsey is in 8th. Ben Creanor lines up 9th. He gets 2 points for his trouble. Michael Blake gets 3 points in 10th. Maciej Sakovic gets 4 points in 11th. That's going to help his championship charge. And Morgan Butler takes all 5 from qualifying. You've got to love that. Luke Austin just misses out and will start 13th, ahead of Michael Elliott in 14th. Tim Cox lines up alongside the other Ocean Racing Technology car, which is Scott Malcolm. Then we have Rob Lundgren and John Roberts. And Victor Oliveira will start at the back of the grid in 19th place. So, keep your eye on that man there in the matte black car in the middle, Ben Creanor. His starts have been absolute lightning recently. They were both amazing at Brands Hatch, and he's going to want to put another one of them in right now. But we look at Ben Bennyworth, your pole sitter in the Abruzzi Racewear car. Him and Carl Jacquelet, both very, very strong contenders for a race win here. And as we've seen in this championship so far, it could be anyone's. We're just waiting now for Donnie Alpha Henriksen and John Roberts to take to the grid. There's Donnie lining up 4th. I think John is potentially just making everybody a little bit nervous by making them wait. Which just gives me a chance to quickly sort something out. But we're about to get the race underway then. So round 5 of the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship from Zandvoort is away. Plenty of wheel spin. Brilliant starts again by Ben Creanor and the gang further back. That's Jack Johns. He's leaning on. Bit of argy-bargy between the two of them. Come on, Ben. You don't need to do it, mate. Doesn't need to do it at all. That'll be looked at afterwards, I'll tell you that for free. Ben Bennyworth, though, side by side behind him. Carl Jacquelet and Donnie Henriksen. Donnie's trying to get around the outside and then down the inside, and then Kieran Dempsey is right behind. Kieran Dempsey's gained 4 places. Oh, and it's kicked off behind, and guess who it is? Ben Creanor's involved. Michael Blake's in the air, bouncing around. Ben Creanor's at the very back. I'm not sure who else got involved in that. Morgan Butler. Morgan Butler's got damage. 3 of the fastest drivers from qualifying having issues already. But like I said, Kieran Dempsey's had a great start. 4 spots gained for him. Same with Maciej Sakovic. Oh, little hesitant on the turn in there for Kieran Dempsey. Stephen King continues. Oh, well, he continues to hit Daniele Giudici in more contact. And Maciej's going to benefit from that. Look at that. Through I go, he says. And then Daniele decides to defend again down the inside. Jack Johns still there in the number 12 car in 8th place. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him there, but it all happened. I mean, off the start, Ben was driving through Jack Johns. Oh, wow. I really don't know what happened there, but there was a big old hit, wasn't there? Oh, Jack just looked like he lost it into the back of Ben. Michael Blake got caught up completely innocently. Let's have a look at the green flag. As soon as it drops, this is going to be like live stewarding on air, I'm afraid. It's a great start by Ben. Look at Kieran Dempsey. Oh, Jack does come across, but then there's just no need to... Yeah. Right. Anyway, Ben Benioff leads them after the first lap. And he looks nice and tidy at the moment if you're in an Abruzzi racewear car, but just behind Kieran Dempsey, he's got his teammate Carl Jacquelet right in front of him, as you see there. Over the crest of the hill they go. Now this is a tough decision here because we know that Jacquelet can defend hard. We've seen him do it in the British Boring Car Championship. Well, in a teammate scenario, is he going to make life any easier for Kieran Dempsey? He needs to, because Maciej Sakovic is climbing about all over the back of him now, and Kieran knows exactly who he needs to beat up in the championship. He removes his teammate for him, and Maciej goes through on both of them. Stephen King looks down the inside now. Oh, Kieran, that's a proper head in your hands moment, that. Oh man, he's going to be kicking himself for that. Wow, oh wow. Yeah, big contact between the two. But it's Ben Benioff leading the way then at the end of lap 2. We do have to keep looking back at this though, because Kieran Dempsey's got the two Team Mood Springs cars either side of him. Now, Donnie Henriksen did the fastest lap then, and then Jack Johns has gone and done even quicker. Purple times from Jack Johns in that first lap. Sorry, second lap, I should say. Oh, Kieran dancing around all over the place there. It's amazing to watch them go over the crest of the hill and just slide their way into that long right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Milky in the chat, great to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Look a bit further back because Luke Austin has just got past Craig Schill. And now Michael Ellett is looking down the inside as well. Now he's got the two Pramac cars in front of him there. Daniele Giudici ahead of Luke Austin. Luke looks like he's gone a little bit deep into there maybe. But it's so close between everybody else. All of them just in a long train together. Now, is Ben Benioff getting away from Donnie Henriksen? I'm not sure he is. The gap last time was about 0.7 of a second. It's now 6. Let's see what the lap times look like. Oh, actually, no. Henriksen was a 1/10 slower, but I think across the entire lap he must have been a bit slower, but the gap is now closer as they cross the line. Sakovic in third is looking menacing again. Like I say, we've only had 2 different race winners this season. One of them was Ben Creanor, and he's now out of the race. The other was this man who won both races at Silverstone. It was an amazing performance to start the season. The headlights come on. Oh, Rob Lundgren's had an issue further back. Oh, he's lost it into the hairpin. Now, it's easy to do this because you're sliding round to the right. You've just chucked it left. You chuck it to the right. There's a bit of a crest mid-corner, and then if you just hit the grass, it does go around. Oh, we've got cars off. Michael Ellett's off. Victor Oliveira is also off. I think he must have followed him to do a bit of a Paris-Dakar impression. Now, this is getting closer and closer. Luke Austin's got to be looking very closely in front of him at the back of his teammate's car, but also looking right behind him at the front of Craig Schill's car. Craig looking racy at the moment tonight. Well, I say that, and Craig's actually lost 5 places from where he started as Sakovic has tried to go around Donnie Henriksen, and he has done. There's a little bit of a kiss. Stephen King takes advantage of it. Down the inside he goes. Side by side, he's making sure Donnie stays over to the right. Donnie's on the inside line. Watch out for Kieran Dempsey behind the two of them, though. Nope. I hate that the Kia does that when it gets damaged. Takes away our camera, but I suppose in realism it's broken the camera, let's call it. Right then, that was lap 4 out of 8. Now we're going to go into the 5th one, so we're over half race distance. Here at Zandvoort, it's getting dark. Let's hope their eyesight doesn't get worse. Stephen King, well, certainly showing Donnie Henriksen that his eyesight's working at the moment. He knows exactly how to put the car down the inside. Looks a little bit later on the brakes, down the inside of Donnie again. Now up ahead, Ben Bennyworth is only 0.4 of a second ahead of Maciej Sakovic. Can he hold on to that gap? There's only one way to find out. Over the crest of the hill again. Look at the cars wobbling around. They really do float on the brakes. You can hear them just changing down, popping and banging their way onto the brakes. This is getting incredibly close. A little bit of contact almost there between Sakovic and Bennyworth. Now, when Ben sees the front of Maciej's car behind him like that, he's thinking, oh no, how's he got that damage? Is it from the start or is it from pushing people out of the way? It's a scary time. It looks to me like Ben's already having to defend here. He's really thinking about his lines. Is he going to look to the inside? He's not all the way over. He's not all the way over to the left. He doesn't look comfortable right now. He's a very experienced kart racer, is Ben Bennyworth, so he's used to racing without mirrors. So now he can see what's coming up behind him. He can at least take a look. Now at the back of this train, you've got Jack Johns, who's got a really nice view of all of it. And then a second and a half back to Carl Jacquelet. So we'll see what Jack can do. It seems like he's got quite a bit of damage though, the car not wanting to behave itself around the final corner. On to lap 6 we go. As everybody's shuffling their way into the first corner. Morgan Butler, by the way, is trying to get past Rob Lundgren a little bit further down the order there, just coming through the final corner now, but we need to look for the lead. Ben Bennyworth is very well under attack right now, but Sakovic needs to be careful with these attempted moves, you know, because Donnie Henriksen could very easily get through. Maciej dives out to the left-hand side. He's got a bit of an overlap here, you know. He got a really good run. Taps the brakes, makes sure that he doesn't hit Ben. He's being fair. Over the crest again. I go tense every time they come towards us over there. It just looks like the car's going to understeer wide. Stephen King is all over the back of Donnie Henriksen now. He's thinking, right, I need to get ahead of you before Maciej gets ahead of Ben, because it seems almost inevitable. Ben defends the inside. Maciej's going to try and go around the outside of him. Stephen King's on the inside of Donnie Henriksen. Is Maciej going to stay there? He is. Surely Maciej Sakovic has got this done. He started 11th on the grid. It's been an awesome drive, and he's into the race lead. Now, what can Bennyworth do about Donnie Henriksen? Because he's going to have to defend from him now as well. This is the perfect situation for Maciej Sakovic. He's got the lead, and now he can try and run with it. Donnie goes down the inside. Looks like a bit of contact further back. Ben Bennyworth down to 3rd now, and now he's got to worry about Stephen King. Nearly contact. So overall in this, Donnie's actually where he was before. Still in 2nd place with the battles going on around him. Sakovic is off at the front. This would be his 3rd win of the championship if he can completely secure this one. Side by side down the straight. King on the inside, Bennyworth on the outside. Stephen King a little bit later on the brakes. Chucks it down the inside nicely. Bennyworth's going to want to slot in there. There's a bit of contact with Dempsey. Jack Johns gets out of it as well. Jack chucks it on the inside of Dempsey into the hairpin. Whoa, a bit of a rub down the inside. Thanks very much, he says. He's still just about got rid of the overlap. Flipping heck. Proper touring car stuff, that. Proper touring car stuff. We call that a bit of a wet and dry rub down the inside from Jack Johns. It's certainly been close again throughout this top 6. We've not really seen too much of a runaway winner. Sakovic is a 2nd clear as things stand, but it's not been the easiest of races for him. He's had to work hard to get there, and it's been a great job so far. He's got 1 lap to go after this. Kieran Dempsey is going to want to get back ahead of Jack Johns. Jack is going to want to get past Bennyworth. Stephen King is in for another podium position. He's second in the championship, don't forget. Only behind Maciej Sakovic. Whoa, very sideways on the brakes. Daniele Giudici and Carl Jacquelet have tagged onto the back of this as well. It's almost like the entire top 10 are in a big train. That's how close the racing gets in these cars. There's Bennyworth. He'll be gutted that he's not on for a podium here. Someone that is on for a podium and more right now is Stephen King down the inside of Donny Henriksen. The two of them might be slightly compromised here, though. What is it like for everybody else getting a run behind them? This is the battle for second. They need to be careful here. There's a lot of championship points on the line. I wouldn't say there's a win at stake because Maciej's got it tidied up. They both go very deep into turn one. Stephen King looks like he's got the job done, but has he? Donny's now on the inside, then he's going to be on the outside, then he's going to be on the inside. Stephen King goes in a little bit hot. Bennyworth's going to look down the inside. No. Jack Johns is going to look down the inside. And it looks to me like the Team Moodspring guys might get a double podium here. Jack moves over to the right. He slots in behind, but these two are still side by side. Sakovic has gained 1.6 seconds just in this first sector on these guys, so he is gone. What they've done here is throw the win away, if there was ever a potential. And somehow Donny Henriksen holds on to second place. Is he going to be able to do that all the way to the end? Jack Johns very sideways through the right-hander. He's now looking down the inside of his teammate. They've collided before. Donny's been hit by Stephen. Luckily, he doesn't lose the place. But they're all climbing all over behind him. I do not know how he's staying in front of all these guys. Contact between the two Team Moodsprings cars. Epic stuff from Donny Alpha Henriksen at the moment. Still in second. It's the two Team Moodsprings cars that are fighting it out. Jack Johns up to second. Sorry, third. Ahead of Stephen King. But up in front, Maciej Sakovic has driven an absolutely outstanding drive, and it looks to me like he's going to hold on to the win. Now, is Henriksen going to get a slowdown for that? I really hope he doesn't. But at the final corner, to take his third win of the season and to extend his championship lead, Maciej Sakovic. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Donny Henriksen take a bow, son. Second place is epic after that defence. Jack Johns finishes fourth with Stephen King, Ben Bennyworth, Kieran Dempsey, Carl Jacquelet, Daniele Giudici, Luke Austin and Craig Schill all behind. Wow. What a lively race that was. Oh, as John Roberts decides he doesn't want the engine anymore. What a lively race that was. Wow, I didn't know where to look for after that. Sakovic with a fantastic drive, though. Henriksen, that defending at the end was unbelievable. And fair play to Stephen King. You know, he didn't completely bin him there. He made the contact, but he backed out and made sure it wasn't made any worse. It was another very, very exciting race for the Team Moodsprings cars. We've got Michael Blake back out on track as well. He's with the rest of the field as well. Oh, he's given Bennyworth a little bit of a tap in the rear. Unfortunately, though, car 18 was classified P18 by the end of that one. And now the drivers will head into a warm-up session, and we'll have a quick look at the results of that first race. So Sakovic takes his third win of the season, 3.5 seconds, give or take a few thousandths, ahead of Donny Henriksen. Jack Johns finishes in third, and after his first few hundred yards of the race, I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. Stephen King finishes in fourth. Ben Bennyworth ends up in fifth after a very valiant drive early on. Kieran Dempsey sixth with Carl Jacquelet behind. That's good points for the team's championship for them. Two Pramac racing cars in the top 10, Daniele Giudici and Luke Austin, and Craig Schill gets a top 10 overall as well. Scott Malcolm finishes 11th ahead of Tim Cox, with John Roberts 13th, Michael Ellett in 14th. Victor Oliveira gets some points on the board, and Morgan Butler is classified in 16th place for 1 point. Then it's Rob Lundgren and Michael Blake, and unfortunately we have to go to a separate screen for Ben Creanor, who was out on the very first lap. Well, that was certainly as lively as you can make it. I'm just going to take a very, very quick break for just a few minutes, everybody, and I'll be back with you very soon. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. Welcome back, or at least welcome back to myself. I guess I'm just here talking to myself, aren't I? So I've had a quick chat with some of the drivers after the shenanigans early on, which we saw there. Now, differing stories, of course, but all in all, it seems quite pieced together. You know, Jack and Ben both had a bit of damage after that first few bits of contact down the straight. Ben wasn't purposely trying to hit him out of the way. He says that the first bit of contact after Jack moved over had broken his steering and he was just stuck turning left, so he was trying to get right and get out of it. And unfortunately, Jack lost the rear end, I think, over the crest from right to left. He thought he got a little tap from Majek, which helped him, but as he said, and you know, as we both agreed, it looked very strange because he sort of tapped Ben's rear corner and then suddenly it spat Jack's car left, not Ben's. It was all very odd, but it all seems amicable. We're all trying to sort it out in the background, but that will all get looked at. And at the end of the day, you know, I must praise all the drivers. I get a really good positive feedback from the drivers, and it's great to have a chat with them. You know, we have a really nice, just a really nice bond here in this championship, and a great community behind it. Now you can see this is an important thing to watch right now, is Majek practicing his pit entries. It's a very, very fast pit straight here at Zandvoort, and don't forget they have an almost half-hour-long race here where they will need to pit. So this is very intriguing indeed. This is Kieran Dempsey, who of course didn't have too bad a first race, but he's going to want a little bit more come the second one. There's a lot more time for it to work. Sorry about that, I've just got a few messages and things coming in here at the moment. But anyway, we've got warm-up going on at the moment, only a couple of minutes left to go, only one more minute left to go actually, and then we'll have the second race of the day. Second race here at Zandvoort is going to be 16 laps long, so double the race distance of that first one, with a pit stop included. Drivers have to take at least 2 tyres in their stop. Fuel is up to them, but they will not make it to the end on the fuel that they start the race. Let's put it that way. Watching Morgan Butler now, who will be very disappointed after that first race. He'll be happy, of course, that he got the points for being on pole position. 5 championship points, all important, but after having the incident very, very early on, he scored very, very minimal towards the end of it. There's John Roberts. He was just about to round out his session now, and we'll get the second race underway. We'll turn the music off very instantly. And here is your grid then for the second race of the evening. Majek Sakovic lines up on pole position alongside Donnie Henriksen. Jack Johns and Stephen King make it a very interesting row 2. Then it's Ben Bennyworth and Kieran Dempsey, Carl Jackalette and Daniele Giudici, Luke Austin and Craig Schill round out your top 10. Then it's Scott Malcolm and Tim Cox, with John Roberts and Michael Ellett. Victor Oliveira lines up alongside car 16, P16 Morgan Butler. Then it's Rob Lundgren and Michael Blake, car 18, P18. And then Ben Creanor at the back of the grid in car 95 in 19th place. So, 16 laps of Zandvoort in a Kia Optima GTS. No, thank you. Either way, we're about to have a wonderful race before us right now. Rob Lundgren is the last car to take to the grid. And then we'll get this race underway. You can hear some of the revs spiking up now. Ready to go. Sit down, put your big boy pants on, because here we go. Round 6 of the CDM ETCC is underway, and look at that start from Kieran Dempsey. Beautiful stuff. Jack Johns goes to the right to cover him off, but Kieran's got through. What a fantastic getaway that was. And is he going to look down the inside of Donny Henriksen? He is. Daniele Giudici looks down the inside of Carl Jacquelet. Looks to me like he's going to gain the place as well. We look a little bit further forward because Johns and Dempsey are together. Oh, they're around and he's taking his teammate with him. Stephen King's off. He's back in the middle of the road. He tried to avoid it. Oh, and it's all gone to pot further back. And you're going to see me do this live, but we're going to chuck a safety car in because we can't be having that. Absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So, Kieran Dempsey and Jack Johns, the guys that initiated that, look at the damage to Stephen King's car. Left of that, absolutely smashed to bits. Absolutely smashed to bits. And everybody is at a reduced pace now to then catch up behind the safety car. We'll have another look at how it started then, because Jack Johns defended down the inside, as he has every right to do. He moved over a lot in the first race, so he's toned it down a bit this time. Moves over to the right-hand side. He knows that Dempsey's got the overlap, so he moves out of the way. You'll see Dempsey come through on the right-hand side. Maybe. There's the peach, or the orange, on the front of the car. So he's on the white line. Oh, they just hooked together. And then he bounces off the front of him. Stephen King gets involved as well. And the one thing Stephen can't avoid there is he rolls back into the middle of the road. Craig Schill gets involved and rolled over. That's Victor Oliveira just in front of us there. Let's have a look at Stephen King. Listen to these things. Dempsey just absolutely gone. He's up the road. It's absolutely amazing. Incredible start. This is on the front of Stephen King's car. It's not really at the back, is it? Come on, Chaz. So up turn 1, you'll see it there. There's the contact, and the two of them hook together in front of him. Now, I think Stephen at this point knows what to do, and, well, I was going to say he goes right, but he slams on the anchors. There's the original hit. Oh, he gets a little bit of help from Bennyworth behind, who hasn't seen the check-up happening. Carl Jacquelet gets through it and goes through, but then Stephen King is going to catch Craig Schill, I believe, is the first car that hits him. Craig tries to move out of the way. It's wheel-to-wheel contact. Oh, he gets a little help in hand from Tim Cox, and he batters into the barrier, bounces off and hits John Roberts. Oliveira gets turned by Elliott further back. And then they're all just spat in the air and all over the shop, unfortunately. But we have the safety car out. As oh my word. Well, okay. So, catching up to the safety car. Oh, Tim Cox has gone off on his own. And then, now John Roberts got sent to space at Oh. Now he's actually made contact with the same car that he made contact with at Alton Park when he got sent to space in pre-season testing. Unfortunately for John. Now what's happened? Tim Cox is off again. I'm really not sure what's happened to Tim there. Has he got a lot of damage on the car? Yeah, look at that. Look at the steering. Yeah, you need to park that really, Tim. He's got the steering wheel straight and it's going left. He's got Jack Johns just behind him, and Jack's not going to really enjoy watching this. Now, everybody's lives are made a little bit easier here. Either that or a little bit more difficult when it comes to the fuel. Because they're going to use, obviously, a lot less fuel as the entire race length goes. Being behind the pace car like this. We're going to have one more lap after this one, so people have got time to sort it out. They do get a fast repair, so they can come into the pits and get that fixed. I think Tim has brought the car in now. But there's the wonderful backside of the iRacing Porsche safety car. Magic giving it a bit of a weave, touring car style. Now Ben Creanor has gained 10 places from where he started in this one. So we can potentially see the start of the race from his point of view. He's got Michael Blake in front of him there. And then Rob Lundgren. Morgan Butler to the right as well in the black and orange car. Decent start for Creanor. Really good second phase of the start for Michael Blake. He looks down the inside of, is that Michael Ellett? Now they've both got past Lundgren. Butler's gone around the outside of Oliveira. Creanor's gone with him. And all of a sudden, you can see it happening in front. Now these guys get on the brakes. Really well done. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hell of a view there from Ben Creanor. Great stuff from Morgan Butler as well. Morgan had a fantastic start. Let's have a look from him. Now, did someone jump the start there? I think we just saw a car move a little bit early. So Morgan moves over to the left where the space is. Oliveira deciding where to go there. Backs out of it a little bit. Morgan just slithers around the outside into turn one. Out the first corner he goes, uses the curb, he sees the accident in front. Avoids that, avoids that, avoids that. Lovely. That'll do. That'll do, he says. So now we've got Butler, Creanor and Blake together. Rob Lundgren's had a good start as well. He's gained 6 places. Victor Oliveira gained 3 from that. And Kieran Dempsey, unfortunately, one of the guys in the pits after that damage. Of course, him and Jack Johns getting glued together at the very front is what caused it. That's Stephen King going back out on track, but this is big for the championship right now, and I did put in the YouTube description championship implications tonight. I think so. This could be a big turning point because this will open up Sakovic's lead if he can win both of these races again, which will mean that at every single race meeting we've got someone winning both races. We knew there'd be something similar going on, obviously, with the whole fact that the second race is set up, in terms of the grid anyway, the grid is set by the result of race 1. It seems to me like we might have the pace car out for one more lap, which is not ideal. I'm not sure how you call it in either, otherwise I would. But I'm afraid that Majek's going to have to just keep looking at the back of that very pretty Porsche, who's not got his lights on. Well, not the ones that are on the front of the car anyway, he's obviously got the ones on the roof on. Now usually, I suppose it's out for 3 laps, isn't it? It's not just 2 laps. So it'll be out for another lap. Can't just fast forward time either, can we? Because it's a long old lap. It's 3 minutes at pace car pace. Now Ben Bennyworth, he's got quite a bit of damage on the front of his car. I think he was involved. I think he hit Stephen King, didn't he? He went into the back of King's car. King's ahead of Schill and Johns, as things stand at the moment. But it's absolute crawling pace at the Apologies there, everybody. Really not sure what's happened there, but it literally just died very, very quickly for me. So we're just working on getting back into the session now. Well, I suppose that's brilliant. We should be able to at least get back into the session here, but it doesn't seem like we can for some reason. Might have to close iRacing and go back into it, so do bear with me and we'll get back in. I've not had a disconnect for ages. Since I had the issues just over a week ago, there haven't been any issues since, and then all of a sudden it just died very instantly, like everything just went. So I'm just going to work on getting back in now. I can confirm that I am loading back into the session, and we'll have everything back underway in just a moment. You're absolutely joking. You're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe what iRacing has done here. You ready? It's not a single file restart either. But we're back in time to witness the start of the race again, which is good. Now, I'm really hoping, Milky, that we're on the same stream still. Is that correct? Are we still on the same stream that we were on a moment ago? I really hope we've not had to change stream again. But it just died instantly. Like, you know, it came straight back. But then it just took a while for everything to reconnect. Anyway, it's getting dark here at Zandvoort now. We're about to continue in round 6 of the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. Maciej Sakovic is going to lead them away, but annoyingly for him, he's on the outside here with Donny Henriksen. Got a double file restart in touring cars, which I didn't think I'd ever see. I didn't think I'd ever call a safety car, but there you go. I need to check that setting. Right then, Sakovic is away, and we're back racing. This very long feature race will get even longer. It's going to be a night race now. Oh, look at that there. Daniele Giudici defending from Morgan Butler. Morgan stays down the inside. Everybody back at it. Oh, contact between Oliveira and Lundgren. Oliveira then moves over to the left-hand side. John Roberts is there. Oh, and again, more contact. John gets a slide. Then Oliveira's into Cox. Then he's into Johns. Flipping heck. He's having a right bucket full of contact there, isn't he? Sakovic leads the way, though. Henriksen second. Then it's Bennyworth. Then Jacqueline. Austin. Giudici. Luke Austin having a great run at the moment in 5th place, car 55. And look at Morgan Butler trying to get past Daniele Giudici. He's got Michael Blake right behind him, and then Ben Creanor as well. Creanor down the inside. Creanor gets through. Is Blake going to return the favour and go back down the inside? No, he's not. King goes down the inside of Lundgren. Nearly the two of them making contact. Quite like double file restart. It was quite exciting. Oh, he's close to John Roberts there. Now Morgan Butler needs to get a move on here because Ben Creanor is not going to hang around behind him. Creanor looks down the inside, tries to go later on the brakes. Oh, there is contact. Creanor loses a place to Michael Blake. Morgan turned in thinking there wasn't an overlap, and all of a sudden there was. Stephen King ahead of Rob Lundgren. Jack Johns was looking down the inside of Tim Cox. Oh, a few of them using the gravel there, but Sakovic leads then at the end of lap 5. Still got a long way to go in this race. Oh, what's happened? John Roberts and Craig Schill. Is that Craig Schill? No, that's Rob Lundgren. Oh, two teammates. Well, not in this series, but they are both teammates in Team Boosted. Oh, they just came together on the exit, and then they both sort of melted into the wall. Let's have a look at it again. Oh, John just understeered wide into him. Oh, that's a very violent impact. Very violent impact indeed. It's one of those moments where you're thankful that it is sim racing and they don't really get injured or anything unless you may be on a direct drive wheel. But that was a big, big hit. And those two are teammates, like I say, at Boosted Motorsport. So that's going to go down like a cup of cold sick. Now, Luke Austin, considering that he didn't really get any practice in before tonight, he's having a brilliant evening so far. 5th place, started 9th. He's gained a few positions in this race so far, and he's looking feisty right behind Carl Jacqueline. Now, Daniele Giudici needs to work hard to defend because he's got Morgan Butler trying to get through, and Michael Blake, who's gained 10 places in this race. He's had a really good start, to be fair to him. He was very unhappy after the first one, as you would be, getting caught up in an incident that was not your fault. And now he's gained a number of places. Tim Cox side by side with Jack Johns. Tim needs... oh, no. Oh, Jack's gone flying over to the right as well. That's the second time in this race that contact like that has happened. I'm afraid we might have to look at Tim there. Oh, Jack's on the white line. Not really much he can do there. It's been a little bit messy this evening, hasn't it? And with the smallest grid of the season as well. as Morgan Butler finally gets past Daniele Giudici. Luke Austin still trying to get past Carl Jacquelet. Down the complex they go once again. Ben Bennyworth is up the road here. Donny Henriksen is only 6 tenths. Flipping it up. He's only 6 tenths of a second behind Sakovic here. So Donny Henriksen's got some good pace. The Dane looking like he could potentially make some inroads on Majek at this point. The Mirage Sport driver is definitely not just a Mirage in Majek's rear view. Now Luke Austin needs to get a move on here because Morgan Butler will be past him in a flash if he doesn't overtake Jacquelet soon. And there's the move from Morgan down the inside. Oh, nearly contact. Morgan does well to avoid it. Nearly at the halfway stage then. Lap 7 out of 16. Stephen King just off the back of this train here. Really good train indeed. Michael Blake now trying to get past Daniele Giudici. And it is effectively a night race now. I didn't really plan for it to be, so apologies to the drivers, but certainly looks good right now. Where's Michael going to go with this one? Looks to the inside, goes back to the outside. Daniele's going a little bit hot into the hairpin. Can Michael make a cutback of it? No, there's no gap there. Not able to do it yet. This is still going on in front though. Jacquelet holding on to 4th place at the moment as Butler goes down the inside of Austin. It's a bit of a boisterous move down the inside from Morgan, but he gets the job done. We saw it in the earlier race as well. Luke, unfortunately, now down to 6th place, but he'll still be happy with that. It's plenty of championship points. And Michael Blake will see that Stephen King's behind him and know that he's got a very fast driver behind. Giudici darting around all over the place to try and defend. And now Michael's having to defend. As I've mentioned, this is the worst position to be in when you're trying to attack a driver that's slightly slower than you around the circuit. And you've got a driver that's a bit quicker than you right behind. Michael all over the back of it, and is that? No, it's not Sakovic, it's Oliveira. Oliveira runs wide. These guys all get the better of him down the straight. There's a lap down on these boys, actually. So that's not changing any positions. I hope you're enjoying the show so far, though, everybody. You can't deny that there's drama in the CDM European Touring Car Championship. Now Jacquelet has got Morgan very close behind him. I don't dare go on the gearbox cam. Morgan gets a good run. Jacquelet moves to the right, makes sure that he defends that inside line. Now can Morgan get a good enough run? Stephen King is into the pits. Andrew McKinley, good to see you, mate. Oh, Carl's gone deep. Morgan knows about it. Who was that sideways? Giudici. Michael Blake gets past. Morgan's got past Carl. Ah, it's a big headbutt from Michael. And he goes down the inside and gets through. Now these two are still side by side up ahead. Jacquelet's off the road. And Luke Austin goes through. What happened to Carl Jacquelet here? Oh, tiny bit of a touch on the exit, unfortunately. Nothing really untoward there. Just trying to get on the power as soon as they could. So Morgan Butler's gained 12 places in this race. It's been a fantastic recovery after a torrid first race. But none of these guys have pitted yet. Highest placed driver that's pitted is Craig Schill. But he pitted on lap 1. So the highest placed of those that's pitted while the race has been going is Stephen King and Ben Creanor. Craig will have to pit again, unfortunately. He obviously had to pit for damage. Stephen King's had a really good pit stop as well, actually. 11 seconds for him, so he's taken the tyres. He repaired the damage earlier on as well. Thank you for the subscription as well, Andrew. Much appreciated. Oh, race leader in the pits. Magic's in. So's Donny. So is Ben Bennyworth. That means that Morgan Butler goes through to take the lead temporarily. Morgan Butler will be very pleased to be in the lead of the race again. Michael Blake has got these two queuing up behind him now, Jacqueline and Giudici. Thank you to John Roberts as well, who has offered to save the replay after I got kicked out of the session earlier. In my worry to get back in, I just quit. So, sorry about me. 6 laps to go then here at Zandvoort. It's been the sort of chaotic evening you'd expect. Jacqueline, big drifteroo. I'll tell you what, you can't deny that he rotated the rear end well on the brakes. Epic, epic slide by Jacqueline. Lovely stuff. Michael Elliott has overtaken Ben Bennyworth, by the way, not too long ago. I think that might have just been as Ben came out the pits. Now look at this. King is ahead of Sakovic. Not by much, but he's ahead. So Stephen King, who hasn't won a race yet this season. Donnie Henriksen, by the way, 14-second stop. Magic Sakovic was 19 seconds. So Donnie Henriksen is actually the highest placed of those that have done their stops. So Donnie could be the first driver to only take one race win in an evening, as well as Magic Sakovic, but he's already done both. He's won 2 races and 1 race in a night. Who's next to come in? Where's Morgan then? Here he is. Luke Austin, second place at the moment. Morgan comes in. Luke carries on. Such a treacherous pit entry. Saw people in the Sim Racers World Formula 3 Series crashing there as, oh, Craig Schill's gone off. Has he just clipped the grass? Nope. Wrong bit. Come on. Just going to clip the grass on the way around, or is he just going to go in a bit too hot? Oh, he's gone in too hot there, and he's going to hit the wall straight on. That's going to do big damage to the front, and it has. More cars in the pits then. I appreciate that it may not be the easiest to see these cars right now. Here's Michael Elliott, who's been overtaken by Ben Bennyworth. Ben goes up into 12th position. Sorry, 11th position, and he's going to get past a few more now, I think, with some guys coming out the pits. He's gone past Giudici. Now is he going to get past Jacqueline? He's going to go around the outside of him. Is that going to work? Just about, yes. Just about gets in front. Now Creanor's up to 7th. He's behind Magic Sakovic, but they're a little bit spread out. I'll show you how the field is spread currently. You can see the guys that have pitted. These guys here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sorry, 1, 2 and 3, and then of course P4, Donnie Henriksen. Has not, has pitted. Get it right, Chaz, come on. And it's Victor Oliveira that's with these guys, 14th place at the moment. Trying not to cause issues for the cars in front. But Luke Austin has inherited the lead temporarily. He's going to have to be careful when he comes in for his stop because, like I say, it's a treacherous pit entry and he won't want Michael Blake to go in the back of him. So they both need to be careful if they're going to pit together. Either of them coming in this time round. Yep, Luke's coming in. Michael Blake carries on to do another lap. He goes on to lap 12 in the lead of the race. Luke Austin comes in. Where is Donnie Henriksen? Here he is. 2 corners to go. I'll show you. So Donnie is the red dot on the bottom left of the map. Luke Austin is the dark blue number 3 in the pit lane just after the start-finish line. And I think, to be fair, Donnie is going to be comfortably ahead. In the background, Stephen King has got Magic Sakovic right behind him. On to lap 12 we go. This is going to be a great fight. 2 of the fastest guys in the series right together. I say that. Stephen King's gone very deep into turn 1. Magic's going to go through. Or is he? Side by side. Through to the right. Magic really chucks the car in. Back end steps out. Stephen's going to be on the inside. They need to be careful about contact. Wheel-to-wheel contact in these cars is not good. They lean on each other all the way around the left-hander. They're still side by side on the exit. This is going to get ropey. This is going to get ropey. Yep, Magic finds discretion as the better part of valor and just goes, no, I'm all right. I can wait. I've got 4 more laps to do this. So Michael Blake continues. Morgan Butler and Ben Bennyworth are 7th and 8th at the moment. Luke Austin has come out in 12th place. A 25-second stop for him, unfortunately. The longest stop of the day. Next up was Ben Bennyworth, who was in the pits for 23 seconds. He's down in 8th, but look at this great fight between Stephen King and Maciej Sakovic. Both cars with wonderful matte and metallic and chrome bits on them, shining off one another, but Maciej Sakovic ultimately is ahead. These guys were 1st and 2nd in the championship coming into this race meeting. Maciej's doing everything he needs to do currently. That siren means that Michael Blake is into the pits, and I think... Oh, has he got done for speeding there? I think he might have come in a little bit too hot. And that's why you need to practice your pit entry. Scott Malcolm inherits the lead for a moment. I imagine he'll be in at the end of the next lap. But Donnie Henriksen then is going to go through and overtake Michael Blake for the race lead. I really hope that Michael's race hasn't been compromised by a penalty, because he has been flying so far. We've really not got many people finishing either. Blake continues to wait. Now, if you do get a speeding penalty, you do serve it in your pit stop, and that to me looks exactly like what's happened to him, as Morgan Butler's got past Ben Creanor here. Morgan in the Abruzzi Racewear car gets ahead of the Darrington Francis machine. Up into 5th place overall. Morgan is flying at the moment. Look at this. Absolutely sending it at the moment. On some real momentum here. Almost backing the car into every corner. Really sliding it around and keeping the momentum going. Good stuff from Morgan Butler. Well, here's your temporary race leader, everybody. Scott Malcolm. He's got Victor Oliveira behind him on track. Victor is the last car running at the moment in 13th place. So some drivers will miss out on a number of points here with their DNFs, which means that as long as Victor finishes, he'll still get points on the board. Now Scott, ooh, a little bit hesitant on the pit entry there. Gets it slowed down nicely. And here is the man that's going to re-inherit the race lead then and come through to start lap 14 of 16 at Zandvoort. Donny Hald Alpha Henriksen now takes the lead. Maciej Sakovic is 1.3 seconds back. Can Maciej catch him? Can Maciej catch him? What do you think? I don't think we'll be able to read the battle box very much when it goes under a second, because it'll go yellow. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? I wonder if I can change that. I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it on the fly, unfortunately. But still, the gap is now under a second. This gap is under a second as well. Only 0.3 of a second between Daniele Giudici and Carl Jacquelet. Daniele's car moving around all over the place. Carl also. The 5-a-day racing machine. Beautiful sky here at Zandvoort. It's not too cloudy today. So the track has stayed relatively warm towards the end of the race. I think Creanor, by the way. Oh no, it's Ben Bennyworth that he's in front of. I thought he was ahead of Morgan Butler for a second there, but Morgan's gained 12 places in this race. He started 16th on the grid. Ben Creanor's gained 14 places after starting last in 19th spot. But there's some big names out of this race. Jack Johns won for the championship. Kieran Dempsey, of course, very early on, the first car to retire. Now, 0.3 of a second between the leaders. I didn't think it was going to come down that quickly. What can either of them do now? 2 laps to go. Donny Henriksen goes on to lap 15 out of 16. I think if Maciej's going to do anything, he's going to wait till the very last lap. But Donny Henriksen has done a smashing job so far. and it'd be such a shame to see him lose this, but great for Maciek to have won 66% of the races so far this season and firmly secure himself at the top of the championship. Oh, we've got an off for Daniele Giudici. Oh, he manages to save it. How on earth did he manage to save this? We've seen this before. You chuck it in through the right. He's gone a little bit hot. He's going to clip the grass. Back end steps away. Lovely stuff from Daniele Giudici. But this again is your lead battle. Mirage Sport against Blade Speed Esports. We need to have a look at this as well, actually, because Ben is trying to find any way he can past Ben. But Ben's defending well from Ben. Ben looks down the inside of Ben. This is Bennyworth on Creanor. And then they've got to think about Carl Jacquelet behind as well, because Carl will take no prisoners when it comes to being advantageous of a slower car. Now, what is Carl going to do here? Is he going to look down the inside into the chicane? Surely not. He's got a good run, though. No, he backs out of it. He plays it safe for now. He knows there's one lap still to go. Now, the lead gap has gone up to about half a second. So, potentially, Donny Henriksen having a better final sector. On to the last lap, then. Here in the Netherlands, round 6 of the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. Can Maciek get through? Can Donny hold on? Let's find out. We'll stay on board with Maciek unless something major happens in the battles behind. Ben Bennyworth, by the way, has got past Ben Creanor, but he's gone off. He's gone off. No. So he's ahead. Oh, he's just gone in way too hot. Way too hot. Now this is the view from Maciek Sakovic, the Polish driver, chasing down the Dane, Donny Hald Alpha Henriksen. Donny Henriksen to you and me. And that isn't a mirage in front of you, Maciek. That is the race leader. Oh, he's got a great run through there. Surely he's going to look down the inside. There's not many places he can do it now. He's there. Nearly contact. Fair play to him for getting out of it. Doesn't send Donny at this point. It's fair racing from Maciek. Nice, smooth stuff so far. Real shame for Ben Bennyworth, by the way. He's dropped down to 8th place now. Giudici is up to 7th. Scott Malcolm and Michael Elliott, the two Ocean Racing Technology cars inside the top 10 once again. Luke Austin, after his pit stop, unfortunately dropped out to 11th, but he's right behind Michael Elliott. We'll have to keep an eye on that, although Michael Blake's just gone off the circuit. Still, this goes on for one more corner. Maciek gets his nose down the inside. Oh, and he's hit the brakes to let Donny go back in front. That's really nice of him. Great sportsmanship. And for the first time this season, we don't have a driver winning both races on the night. He came very, very close. But Donny Henriksen takes the win. Beautiful drive. Fantastic evening for him. Sakovic second. Stephen King, great performance from him to finish third. Morgan Butler fourth. 12 places gained. Take a bow. Ben Creanor finishes 5th after 14 places gained. Jacquelet finishes ahead of Giudici. Then Bennyworth. Then it's going to be Scott Malcolm in 9th. And Michael Elliott is just going to beat Luke Austin to the line. Amazing racing between the two. Michael Blake is a little bit further back on his lap. But wow, oh wow, Donny Henriksen takes his first win in the championship. Just ahead of Maciek Sakovic. And I tell you what, can I see some clap emojis in chat, please? Not just for your race winner, but of course for Maciek Sakovic. The sportsmanship shown there. You know, he put his nose down the inside. There was contact, but he hit the brakes hard to say, you know, I don't want to take the place like that. He's got good championship points out of it. And Donny Henriksen really deserved that win. That was great. Really thorough racing there. I truly enjoyed that. Now we're just waiting, I believe. Who are we waiting for here? Is it Victor Oliveira? Yes, Victor is on the final lap of the race. And he's going to get a bit of airtime, that is, if you can see the car. The number 69 machine. Teammate, of course, to championship leader Maciek Sakovic. Blade Speed Esports doing very well so far. And he's going to get some good points on the board for this. 4 championship points will go his way for Victor. And going into this, race meeting, he didn't actually have any championship points. So there you go. He gets his first ones on the board here at Zandvoort, and he'll be really pleased about that. Gives it a wiggle across the line as well for a bit of showmanship. But there is your race winner, everybody, Donny Alpha Henriksen. And I'm sure he'll be really, really pleased. Hopefully we can have a word with him in a few minutes. Maciej Sakovic finishes in second, half a second back after some great sportsmanship. Stephen King finishes third, Morgan Butler fourth, and Ben Creanor gets into the top 5. Carl Jacquelet finishes 6th, that's more good points for him. Daniele Giudici has quite a good night in 7th. Ben Bennyworth ends up 8th after his off at turn 1. Scott Malcolm and Michael Elliott, like I said before, another pair in the top 10 for Ocean Racing Technology. Luke Austin, it's a real shame after he led the race earlier on that he dropped out of the top 10, 22 seconds off the top spot. Michael Blake's penalty put paid to his evening. He finishes in 12th. Victor Oliveira is the last car to finish the race. Then we have 5 laps down Craig Schill. Jack Johns 10 laps down with Tim Cox after they're coming together. Rob Lundgren and John Roberts with one that they will definitely not forget in 17th and 18th, and unfortunately Kieran Dempsey at the bottom of the pile after not finishing the first lap. But we had an amazing final race, plenty of action and so much to look at there. We'll have to rewind to the very start, or at least we'll have to rewind to after the safety car went in, because bear with the sim is trying to go back in time to a place where I wasn't in the session, so we'll go back from the restart, and the first person we can have a chat with is Morgan Butler. Morgan, you obviously would be very, very annoyed after the first race ended so quickly, but you had a really exciting drive back through the field in that second one.
Yeah, it was really good fun. I do maybe think I could have been a bit higher up, but I think maybe some impatience on my end maybe just held that back. If I'd have maybe been patient with a few more moves, not wasted so much time behind other drivers, I'd have maybe been higher up. But that's something obviously to look at for the next round. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, to be fair, we rode on board with you for a few minutes there towards the end of that race, and the car was dancing around as it does with the rear end stepping out, but you just seemed to, you already looked like you knew what the car was going to do. You could dance it through the corners and really carry the momentum. Did you feel like you had a good bit of pace towards the end there?
Well, yeah, until the last 3 laps when I realised I'd underfueled by a lap, so I had to clutch in. I was clutching into every single corner. And still managing to maybe keep some of the pace on the cars behind, which would really call into question some things as to why they were that much slower when I'm lifting and coasting and they're battling away. But I don't know. Maybe I was just keeping good pace by lifting and coasting.
Well, it certainly looked like it, mate. I mean, it wasn't that noticeable from where I was, but still a really nice turnaround, to be fair, because when you have a bad first race, the worst thing is that you then have to put a lot of work in for race 2. But I mean, I can imagine that was quite an enjoyable one, and I mean, around this circuit as well, it's not the easiest place to do it. But of course, next time round we go to another very difficult circuit, which I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to after how messy this evening was. But we go to Zolder in 2 weeks' time. What do you make of that circuit?
I think it's going to be okay. I think if the drivers behave themselves, it's definitely going to be all right. If there's kind of some of the standards that we've obviously witnessed tonight, it might be a bit dangerous, but that's that's part and parcel with Zandvoort. It's a tight track, it's a lot of undulation, a lot of sort of elevation change into corners. It's it's maybe part and parcel with the track, but I don't know. It's maybe for other people to judge that one.
Well, I think we'll just say it'll be all right on the night, shall we? Eh? But
fingers crossed.
Definitely, mate. Well, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before you go?
Obviously, shout out to Pearson's and the team, and obviously to Ben as well, who had a good result as himself tonight for Abruzzi. Looks like we're in for some good points, so that should be good.
Cracking stuff, mate. Great to speak to you, Morgan. Great to see you pacing that one as well, and well done this evening. And we'll see you again very soon.
Yep, see you very soon.
Cheers, mate. And next up, I think we should definitely speak to the man that's been the one to beat so far this season. And, hats off first off for the sportsmanship there in the second to last corner as Maciej Sakovic joins me. Majek, you must be pleased again with the pace tonight. Looked like you had quite a lot to do though in that one. You didn't really run away from the front with ease, did you?
No, this meeting was really absolutely fantastic in terms of just enjoying myself out on circuit. So many good battles this one, especially with Donny, Stephen, and a few others. Just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it looked like no matter where you were, you always had somebody to race, even when you were at the front. And again, I tip my hat to you, of course, with the sportsmanship at the end there. That was really nice to see. And obviously, Donny kept the position after you allowed him to still go ahead. So I respect that and thank you for that, because it means that I don't have a headache of a driver coming to me saying they got punted off at the last corner. But, I mean, you seem to have really secured yourself at the top now. I mean, it looked a little bit closer after Brands Hatch with Stephen King catching up, but finishing ahead of him in both races must really give you some more confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this meeting was quite unusual because they were both races had really big accidents that claimed Ben Creanor and Mike Blake. So those two, I know, when they get a clean evening, will be absolutely on it.
Yeah,
I know that they'll try to take as many wins off of me as they possibly can. But yeah, from my perspective, absolutely perfect. Those who I wanted not to score didn't score.
Yeah, it's certainly been a championship helper as this evening, but either way, mate, still early stages yet, still 14 more races to go in the series. But what do you make of everything so far? I mean, in terms of the format and the people you're racing against, are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, man, it's definitely a different challenge compared to a lot of the other leagues, because you've got the trade-off of, do you want points from quali, or do you want to start the racing from a more advantageous position? So I kind of want to get some points from quali still, and in a way it makes for a more enjoyable evening, because if you try to run away with it in quali, there is no way you're running away with it throughout the races, because there's a lot of people that will make sure that you have to work to get past them from P12 going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And it just injects a bit more racing in that sprint race as well, where there's less time to do it, because then people know that it can affect their feature race as well. So yeah, it's certainly worked out so far, which is good to see. And of course, your championship is looking very healthy due to that as well. But before we let you go tonight, mate, do you want to give a quick shout out to anybody while you're here?
Again, another shout out to all the Team Mad guys, because it's really awesome to be racing with the three of them that are in this series, and thanks to all the ones that are just watching, and thanks to all the guys competing in this, because it's tons of fun.
Great stuff, mate. Great to speak to you again, Majek. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Cheers, good night.
Thanks, mate. Awesome stuff. Really nice lad, Majek is. Really, really nice guy, and he proved that right towards the end there, because the man that eventually won the race got to keep his position thanks to the sportsmanship of his fellow competitor there. But Donny, you must be absolutely over the moon, mate. You certainly had to work hard for that, but it paid off in the end. How do you feel?
I feel great. That was amazing. A lot of fun.
And what did you make of it in the dying light as well? It seemed like it wasn't easy around there, because it's not even easy in the daytime around Zandvoort, is it?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually the first time I've ever raced at Zandvoort, I think. I bought it in 2014 or something and never raced it. So it's a bit scary. I mean, it's a scary track with all the with all the elevation. But yeah, getting into the dark, I raced in VR, so you have all the UI gets a bit weird in the dark and actually hurts your eyes a bit. So it was straining me a bit at the end there. But I mean, it's all for realism, right?
Yeah. Well, fair play, mate, because that was it was a hell of a drive considering you hadn't really raced it before, and I imagine it's an instant favourite and quite high up there on your list all of a sudden for some reason. But you were knocking on the door for the win in a couple of the other rounds as well, especially in the first race tonight as well, which seemed to be quite a bit of a smooth ride. It's not really been the easiest of rides for anyone tonight, but do you feel that with a bit more consistency and getting a bit of luck in the incidents that go on, you could really challenge for the championship this season?
I don't know if I can realistically get challenge for the championship, but I mean, my aim is a top 3. I raced in the Jeddah Cup earlier this year, and my aim was a top 3 there as well. I have this habit of racing in the top 6 or thereabouts, and then occasionally getting a podium. But today is much better performance than I'm used to. I don't know if I can keep this up. It would be great if I could, of course. I'll do my best.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you get on, mate, and fingers crossed we get to see more race wins out of you. But very well done this evening from me and from everybody behind the scenes. Do you want to give anyone a quick shout out?
Shout out to my mom, who I think is watching this, even though it's going on midnight here in Denmark soon.
Fair play, that's good commitment. Hello, Donnie's mom. Brilliant stuff. Well, great to speak to you, Donnie. Very well done, mate. I was really pleased to see you get that race win. It's a very popular one amongst the drivers as well, I imagine. And hopefully we'll see you do similar again as the season goes on. But for now, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
For sure, well. See you soon, Chaz.
Cheers, mate. Great stuff. First time winner in the championship and the first time driving around Zandvoort this evening. That's absolutely awesome from Donnie Alpha Henriksen. But I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I apologise for the disconnection that we had earlier. Completely out of my hands, like I say, that caught me completely off guard and came out of nowhere. But thank you very much for sticking with me and sticking with the stream till the very end. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. I will leave you with this absolute banger, and I will see you again very, very soon. Good night.